Aye, shepherd's pie.
Oi, Savaloy.
Greetings from the Philippines. We're back with the video you've all been waiting for. My cost of livings. Because I know you love these videos. But seriously, I know I have some subscribers who seem to hate these videos. Well, if you hate it, don't watch it. That's what I can say. There are a lot of people that are interested. But the main reason I'm doing this one, and I think I am going to keep doing them going forward, because you struggle about things to talk to, you really do when you're doing a YouTube channel, is those who've been following this channel will know up until a few months ago I was single. And I did a few cost of living videos and I spoke about my life in Thailand, and you know, because people keep telling me when I get with a girlfriend my living costs are going to double and this and that will go out the window. And I was like, well, I don't see why. Never did in Thailand. And I just got the response, we'll see. Well, we can see now, because Ellen and I have been cohabiting, shall we say, for approaching 3 months now. So have they doubled? Have they gone up? Have they gone down? Now we'll find out. Now the first 2 months, in the interest of transparency, the first 6 weeks, we were living in Latinos. And our living costs were quite high then. But that's not because of Ellen necessarily. It's because, much as I love Margot and he's a great guy and that, the studio was not a place to stay in at night. You got a bit bored in there. There wasn't much to do, it was too small. So we were going out a lot more, virtually every night, and doing things. Now, since we've been in the house and things have settled down, that's why I waited till now to do a cost of living, because if I'd done it when we were Latinos, that would not have been accurate, because, as I say, it was a lot higher than it would be normally. Probably the most expensive period I've had living in Thailand. Sorry, Thailand, what the hell am I talking about in the Philippines? She kicked me just then. She noticed I got it wrong, but there you go. Anyway, so let's do this. What we've done first of all is the reason I've roped in Ellen for this is because she's bloody good at maths. And she's got a little notebook there. We've been doing our calculations today, so we're going to keep this as accurate as we possibly can. So without any further ado, I'm going to ask the lovely Ellen, what are our costs and what are we going to start with?
We're gonna start with the rent.
The rent, okay. What is the rent for this house?
So our rent cost 15,000 pesos.
So we're paying 15,000 pesos for our 2-bedroom house in Bacong. That doesn't include anything. We're just paying the rent for the house. Our utilities, etc. are extra. If anyone's interested in where we live, I did a video when we moved in here. I'll pop the little link in the bottom of this, so if you care, don't know why you would, but if you do, you can have a look. So we're starting off 15,000 a month. That's our basic rent. What have we got next, my lovely?
Scooter.
Right, my scooter hire, which is
5,000.
5,000 a month. Good deal. 5,000 a month. I'm including that in my living cost because it is a living cost. But obviously, I might buy one at some stage. I'm thinking about buying a car, to be honest with you. But that will obviously reduce that cost. If you're not renting, you're not paying for it. So what's next?
Next, we've got the internet.
Our internet, how much is that?
1,599.
Right, that's 1,599, and that is 100 MBS. Is MBS how you say?
Mbps.
Mbps. I can never get that right. And it's good. It's good quality. And we could have paid more. We could have paid less. We went with, who did we go with?
The 100.
No, what's the name of the company?
Phil Products.
We went with Phil Products. But there's others, aren't there?
I'm sorry?
There are other companies.
Yeah, PLDT, what others? The other one, Sky.
Sky?
And there's Sky too.
Didn't know that. Anyway, we went with the 100 Mbps. We could have got cheaper. I think that first package starts like, is it 10?
No, 5.
5?
Yeah.
What, Mbps?
Yeah, Mbps.
That's not much, is it? Anyway, it starts low and it goes up to 250 Mbps. But we went with the 100. and it's fine for us. So good, in fact, I'm planning on start doing a few live streams over the next couple of weeks. I bought a new microphone, so hopefully at least a few of you will join me for that. Otherwise, I'm going to look a right plum talking to myself. But there we go. Right, what have we got next?
Next is the water.
No, I like the water bill here.
I know.
I do like the water bill here. We got our first water bill here yesterday. They taped it to the gate, which is a good way of doing it. And I found, to my shock and horror, we had arrears. So whoever had been here before hadn't paid their water bill. So Muggins here got lumped with it, which would usually piss me off, except the water bill a month, it would seem here, is 50 pesos. So with the arrears, I've got a 100 pesos bill, which I haven't got a problem with. I mean, I could live with that quite happily. It was, I think it was 150 in Siggior. I think it was 3 at the Tinas. Anyway, so I was expecting to be more. And that's with us, because I'm getting the old gardening now, so I'm running the water hose like twice a day. And even doing that and showering regularly, which believe it or not I do. She doesn't shower much, but I shower. I shower a lot. It's terrible having to sit this close to her now, but the camera's not that big. But it is very, very, very cheap. So there you go, 50 pesos, love it. The one thing that's bloody annoying about it is all these bills, you have to go out and pay them. It's like, the internet and electricity, you can pay it down 7-Eleven.
Or I figure out you can also pay that in Gcash, through Gcash.
Oh, don't talk about Gcash. When I get my bank card, I'm either going to set it up myself or I'm going to persuade Ellen to set it up so it's direct debit, comes out of our banks, because it's a pain. I'm a busy man, I haven't got time to go down to 7-Eleven.
Really?
But the water bill, even though it's a pissy little amount of 50 pesos, you've got to go to the municipality hall and no doubt queue up for it. That's what you used to have to do in Thailand. Little things like that, they're irritating. But there you go, never mind, 50 pesos. What's next?
Visa.
Right,
oh, no, wait. Let's go with the electricity first.
Electricity. Now, this one was surprisingly low, but it was 2,090 pesos. I'm expecting this one to be a little bit higher because they do the bills monthly, and I don't think it's based on when you've moved in. So I'm guessing that bill was probably for about 3 weeks. I might be wrong. I'm expecting the next one to be probably about 500 pesos more. Don't expect it to be more than 3,000. I think it'll be less than that, which is good for us. I've just seen if I had the aircon on now, but we don't. Yeah, you hear stories about, people 10, 12,000 a month and that, and God knows how. I mean, you would have to be banging the aircon on all the time, 24/7. And I don't know how you could do that. I mean, we have it on at night sometimes, but if I put it on for more than like 20 minutes, she starts complaining she's so cold. And it's a nightmare, because I put it on because I'm cold, that's not because I'm hot, and she gets cold and insists on cuddling me and wrapping her legs around me and that makes me really hot, and then I have to put it back on again. It's a vicious cycle. But there's no way you could have the old bloody thing on all night and sleep without freezing to death, I don't think so. Yeah, we only have it on the bedroom, I have it on at night, for a couple of hours a day maybe in total. And that's not me being tight, although I am a very mean man. It's just it would be too cold, you don't need it. And we're in Bacong. When we were up in Valencia, people kept saying, when you move down to Bacong, it's going to be so hot, it's so much hotter in here. Yeah, well, it is hotter than here, up there, but still our bill's going to be less than 3,000 a month. I mean, it's not that hot, it's no hotter than Dumaguete. I like the heat. Don't spend much time in the bedroom. But there you go. Shouldn't have told her, they know a bit too much about us there. Right, what's
Visa.
next? Visa?
Yes, Visa.
Visa, now that I've put
1,800.
1,800 for this month. I think that's about right. It's very difficult to give you an accurate Visa figure because it's a strange system over here. I paid for 6 months last time, now I'm on 2 months. I use a Visa agent. I'm going to stop using them. They were very useful to start off with, because I was travelling around going to Siggy Hall. They don't have a visa office in Siggy Hall, so I didn't want to keep coming back and do just getting the ferry over and that just to get a stamp on my visa. So I just leave my passport with the visa office, with the agency. I use JRC in town, and They take care of it for me. I haven't had my passport in my hand for 9 months, apart from the other day. I went and got it and they were kind enough to let me borrow it, as they said, to go down and open my bank account. That's the only time I touched it. So I only know what they charge me. I don't know what the actual fees are. And the extraordinary thing is the fees change from month to month. I was watching a video earlier on with old BRENT'S TRIPPIN's channel. Great channel, BRENT'S TRIPPIN. You can learn a lot from that. I might put a link down in the, well, now I say it, I'll have to put a link down in the description. But he's been here, same as me, finding those feet and that. He's still doing his visas at certain times and things. And he actually goes direct to the visa office. And he was saying in his last video that the third time you renew your visa is the cheapest. And the fourth time you renew your visa is more expensive. Christ knows why. It's the Philippines. So what I'm saying is, take this visa fee with a pinch of salt. I've estimated what it is for my 2-month visa, split over the next 2 months. And I think it works out about $1,800, but I'm paying in pesos and I don't know exactly. So take that with a pinch of salt, but it's around the 1,800, 2,200 mark. Okay? Right, let's move on.
Okay, next is health insurance.
And what have I put for that?
It's 3,000.
Okay, 3,000 pesos. I'm paying for that in English pounds. It's £555 a year, which I think works out about £45 a month, which works out about 3,000 pesos. It's travel insurance, which covers me for travelling and accidents, anything like that. You know, that will run out in October. So then I've got the choice of either going back to the UK and getting more travel insurance for another year or two, or taking some kind of private insurance out here. I don't know what I'll do. I'm not particularly minded to go back to the UK just for that. But the reality is, once you're outside your home country, it's virtually impossible to get travel insurance unless you go with a really expensive provider. The cover, if you have an accident, they're going to want to know when you left the UK or when you left the States or whatever. But I've got about 4 months to work out what I'm going to do about that one. So yeah, that's what it is. I wish I'd taken 18 months out. I could have done, but I didn't. I went for 12 months. Silly, silly me. Right, what have we got next?
Groceries.
Groceries. Now, this is a rough one. I think we came up with about 8,500 because we spend roughly 2,000 a week, and 28 days is 4 weeks. So I added a little bit on for the next, for those few days. So about 8,500 is what we spend. Usually we'll do 2 shops a week. One of them's the big shop. That comes to about 1,000, 1,100. And we'll do a supplementary shop. Well, I'll end up doing a supplementary shop, which usually comes to around the 600. But the groceries are cheap here. Groceries are cheap. In the sense of what I buy. Because we eat out a lot. We'll get to that in a minute, but we don't really have that lavish of meals here. We started cooking in more, but anyway, yeah, we don't. I've seen people who said their grocery bills are like between $250, $400 a month. Well, I'm sure they're eating in a lot more. I mean, that's the only explanation I can get, because we don't buy a lot when we go out, do we? A loaf of bread, a dozen eggs. She's attention's been caught by a fly for some reason. If you watch this, it will come by and her tongue will shoot out, just like one of the X-Men things. And she'll
No, I think it's a mosquito.
Well, we won't get dengue fever, don't worry about it. Those fees, that's what it costs us. I'm thinking, no, I get bitten, I'll make a hell of a fuss, but there you go. Right, groceries. So what we got next?
Miscellaneous.
Miscellaneous. Now, what do I count by miscellaneous? I'm counting the online shopping, Lazada. I tend to buy a bit of crap every week. No,
just kidding.
Yeah, like, well, the odd bit of sports clothing and that to go to the gym. I bought a microphone this week to do so I can do the live streaming. That there is always something. There's a bit of furniture for the house. There's always something, and it comes to around 3,000. So I'm a very lazy man. I can tell you exactly what our figures haven't come to, but a lot of these I can work out off the top of my head. A few of them I've calculated the miscellaneous, like the groceries. I know it hasn't come to more than 8,500 that month, but I haven't tallied up the bills. I'll tell you how I know that at the end, or shortly, should we say. So what have we got next?
Phone.
Phone, right. My phone is 400 pesos. Might be slightly less than that going forward, because what I do is I'm with Globe. They've got a couple of packages that last for 15 days. You can get packages that last for 3 days. You can get packages that last for 7 days. I go for the 15-day options because they're the best value. What I've been getting up until now has been costing me 199 pesos. It's called the Extra 199, I think it is. And for that you get 9 gigabytes of data and unlimited calls and texts to any network. But this last week I've gone with another package they've got, which is 179 pesos. So I'm saving 21 pesos on that. It lasts 21 days. The reason I went with that one is I very rarely phone people with other networks. I mean, I don't really phone people. If I do, you know, in the house, you can use Skype or WhatsApp or whatever. And this other package I'm on now, which I think is called Go 179, you get 17 gigabytes of data, which is obviously, you know, basically twice as much as I'm getting with the current package, and unlimited texts to any network. So I've gone with that. Not just to save not really to save 21 pesos. I just thought I'd rather have more than the 8 or 9 gigabytes you get. So yeah, so going forward, if this works out, the most I'll be paying, because 15 days in a month is 400, or 398 to be exact, but it's probably going to be less than that, because I'll probably stick with this 179. What have we got after that?
What's this? Entertainment? Doesn't.
No, we'll come to entertainment. Well, we got the gym.
Oh,
When
yeah,
I
the
first
gym.
did this is going to annoy Ellen, because I was working out these calculations earlier on and then I screwed it up because I had forgotten the gym. I pay 1,500 pesos a month for my gym membership, which it's a good gym. It's a good gym. I'd recommend it, but I can't remember the bloody name of it now. It's the something hub.
TM.
Right. Anyway, Anyway, I was going to say that. I thought it's better I probably don't tell you because of my stalking problems and things like that. But then, she's just blabbered it out. But anyway, if you want to get me, I'm there 6 days a week. The only day I don't go is Sunday because it's closed on a Sunday. So there you go. There I'm easy to find. I'm there every day. But if I get shot or something, you know who's done it.
I hate you.
Right, now, I wasn't blaming you. So, what have we come to in total for that?
With the gym, it's 41,989.
41,989 pesos. Which works out in dollars?
I don't know.
No, because you'd worked it out and then I did the gym, didn't you? That's why I said you're going to hate me now. I will tell you what that works out as. That works out at around 500 and under 560 pounds, basically under 560 pounds, and around the $715 mark, $715. I think that's basically what that works out as. Now, as I said, I've estimated some of these. The phone's, you know, that's written in red. The gym fee's written in red. You know, the rent is written in red. I've made an estimation on the miscellaneous and the groceries, etc. But my figures will still add up, and I'll tell you why they'll add up. I know for a fact. Now you've got to turn that little book back there, sweet stuff. I drew out of the bank for the month we're talking about 80,000 pesos. Now, 80,000 pesos works out as
$1,367 in dollars.
That's US dollars.
US dollars.
She's on the ball. I wasn't expecting to say that quickly. Anyway, go on.
And then in pounds, it's 1,081.
So basically, that was without the gym. No, that was without the gym.
Yeah.
So basically, with the gym, what does it make with the gym? Is it not nice? You know, I'm talking nonsense. Yeah, I'm an idiot. You know, anyone who watches the channel will know that. So it's £1,100 a month, £1,100 a month. And I still have a little bit of that left. So I know, based on what I've drawn out from the bank and the little bit I've got left, that I have spent less than $1,100, damn close to it. But each time I draw money out, I pay 250 pesos withdrawal fee, which is why I have opened that new BDO Filipinos account to try and get from the 250. Hold on, I've got a little no, something jumped up on my screen there. Do forgive me. To get rid of that 250 peso fee every time I draw something out. But to keep my costs down, a little tip for you, I use the China Bank in the city because they let you take out 20,000 pesos and charge you 250 pesos fee. Whereas most of the other banks only let you take 10,000 out and they'll still charge you the same 250 peso fee. So it's always better to take out large amounts. Now, one thing I'm sure people are going to say in the comments, and I know you mean well, they will say this bank and that bank refund you your ATM fees. Doesn't make any difference. You've got to ask yourself this, fellas, and I've had this discussion so many times with expats, and I've proven it to them every time. I use my Wise card or my Sterling card. Now, they do not refund you the figures, but they give you an exceptionally good rate. Banks, no matter where they are in the world, do not do anything for free. So your Wells Fargo account, for example, yeah, okay, I get it. And I'm not singling out Wells Fargo. The last conversation I had with someone with Wells Fargo, yeah, they refund the ATM fees. But when you draw out that 20,000 pesos, you lose about $20 on the exchange rates. That's how they can afford to refund the ATM fees, because they're screwing you on the exchange rate. You won't get a better exchange rate than Wise or Starling. Now, what I will do going forward is I will transfer money into my Filipinos bank account, and then I won't get ATM fees. And someone said in the comments, we don't need you should blah, 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 blah. What's the point of having a Filipino account? Well, I'll tell you one point of having a Filipino account is I don't always want to draw 20,000 at a time. So one of the benefits is I'll cut down on ATM fees, because if I use a BDO account, I won't need to draw money out. But equally, I can just go and get 1,000 pesos out or 2,000 pesos out. I don't have to keep getting big ones like I do to be cost effective in my other card. So there are reasons why, because I've got so many comments. Oh, you don't need this, you don't need that, you just need this, and I've never had to have one. Well, honestly, if you can't see the benefit of having a Filipino bank account, then I would suggest humbly you haven't done that much thinking about it. So anyway, back to our figures. So where were we with the total?
80. Wait, with the living cost?
No, the total was 80,000 pesos was our total.
Yeah.
And that was around $1,100 or, £1,100 UK, but it was only £1, isn't it?
No, you're reading the, I think this is for the gym.
No, that's the total. That's £1,100 a month.
Okay.
So around, yes, because anyway. So I'm adding the fees on.
Okay.
So it's around £1,100 a month, or 1,380 roughly, if you're adding on the fees, in dollars.
Yeah.
Now, we worked out before, didn't we? Can you move your finger out the way, squeezer? Right, so 41,982. Those were our calculated costs. If you subtract that from the 80,000, that means that basically 37,000 pesos balance. 38,000 pesos balance. What we're going to put that down to is entertainment. I mean, that's everything else that I've spent, which is basically 37,000 pesos, is what we would class as our entertainment. So that's half our expenditure, basically. Just under half goes on entertainment. And what do I consider to be entertainment? Meals out, drinks, quiz nights, driving around, doing things. We don't do much other than go out and eat and quiz nights. We don't really go to the cinema or anything like that. We've never been to the cinema. But the stuff that we would do on top of our regular bills. And we go out. How often do we go out for dinner?
Like 2 to 3 times a week.
So 2 or 3 times a week we'll go out for a sit down. A couple of nights a week we'll go out for quiz nights or darts or something like that. I usually rope her along to be my cheerleader, which she loves. That's why I win so much. I wouldn't be winning all these competitions if it wasn't for her. Just for the record, quiz night champions for the last 3 weeks, and darts champion for. Well, no, I actually haven't played darts in a couple of weeks, but one last time I played. But there you go. Get tired of winning in this house. And you make a few quid out of the quizzes and the darts, so you know what I mean. It pays for the night out if you win, which is always nice. Which is probably why our living costs are so low. So there we are. I'm going to whack the old aircon on now. I was telling Ellen we couldn't have it on because it would make too much noise, but we're getting hot and sweaty. I'm getting sticky, she's getting sticky. We're going to die if we don't have this on. So the aircon is going back on. Apologise for the news. But there you go, fellas. My living costs have not doubled since I've and Ellen have I been cohabiting. They just haven't. You know, that is the reality of the situation. And I never thought they would. Because I go out less now. We've got the house. You know, when I was in Sikihor, I was averaging around £1,500 a month, as high as $2,000. When I was in Sibulan, it was bloody low. It was like $1,000 a month, dollars, for the couple of months I was there. But there was nothing to do. I mean, it was like there was nowhere to go unless you went to Dubaguete, and it was a cheap life, but I wasn't enjoying it. So yeah, we've been together 3 months. Now Ellen has her own job. We've not included any of Ellen's expenditure in this. She's got her own commitments. You know, she covers that with her own costs. I haven't included any of my expenditure in the UK because, you know, I do have expenditure in the UK, but I don't class that as my living costs here. You know, what I have to spend in the UK in terms of, you know, investment costs and, you know, insurance and that for my rental properties, and that all comes out of the rent. You know, so as far as that's an irrelevance. It's not my living costs here, and these are my living costs. They're not Ellen's living costs. And Ellen doesn't have any costs living in this house. I'm talking about any commitment she's got at home and things. I mean, I don't know what her commitments are, if she's got any, but I'm saying, you know, we haven't included her income on this. And she does occasionally buy me a hot dog or something, you know, once in a blue moon. I know she promises to, she's never actually done it. But she did buy me a flan the other day, which was very nice. But no, Ellen's self-sufficient. And anyway, so yeah, so there you go. I'm going round the rabbit hole here now. But there are costs. I don't think they'll go up drastically. I mean, they may go up when I buy a car or something in the future, but that's not because I'm living with Ellen. You know, your living costs don't have to double because you're with someone. If you pick the right person, you know. And so there you go. Anyway, here endeth the lesson. That's what our living costs are like at the moment. We're not living to a budget. You know, we could live more expensively than this. We could certainly try and live more cheaply than this. It's just what it is. It's what it works out. Now again, I was watching Brent earlier on his site, and he was saying he lives on $1,000 a month, 1,000 pesos a day. That was the formula that he uses to, you know, to keep within his budget. Don't think that really works as a couple when you're living together. It used to work when I was, for me, I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad way of doing it. If you're single, it's a very good way of doing it. When I was living in Sikihor, I was working on a budget of 1,500 pesos a day, because then you know you're going to go out each day, what you're going to spend it on. It's a good way of doing it. As a couple, don't think it really works, because you're not going out every day. So, you know, in Sikihor, I would think, right, because I went out every day because I never cooked at home, so I think how much I'm going to spend on my dinner, how much I'm going to spend on my drinks. If I was going over 1,500 pesos a day, I would start to think, well, maybe I'm going too high now, maybe I'm not, maybe I want to cut it down. Can't really work to a budget like that, because you never know, think, right, you might think I'm not going to go out tomorrow. Ellen might turn around and say she wants to go out, so we go out, you know what I mean, and vice versa. I drag her out some nights of the week. So I don't tend to look at it at a monthly budget now. don't really look at it any budget. If we went out and had a really expensive meal, I might think, you know, hold on, wait a minute, and do my maths, how much did that cost? But I don't do that. I just keep an eye on the month, what I've, you know, drawn out from the old ATMs. But anyway, I've gone on a bit longer now than I needed to, but as I say, basically we're living on about £1,100 a month, which is about, what did we say with the dollars?
I don't know.
What do you do?
We don't have the.
So, which is around $1,400 a month. There's no point doing these figures bang on accurate because exchange rates, you know, come up and go. The pound's very strong against the peso at the moment. I think it was 75 to the peso last time I looked. So, you know, when I first got here, it was 68. So, you know, if you're watching this video down, you know, 3 or 4 months down the line and the exchange rates have dropped, the figures will drop. So I took ballpark figures, about £1,100 a month. That's what we're living on at the moment. There will be times if we buy furniture, it will go up, it will go down. So I always say these living cost things, just because we're living on £1,100 a month, I always budget for like £1,500 a month, because there's always going to be something that you need to buy, something big. There hasn't been yet, but I mean, since we moved in together, but there always was before. If I buy a scooter, that's going to whack costs up, but spread it over the year, it will still be under the £1,500 a month mark. Anyway, I think we've said enough. My living costs haven't doubled, they've actually dropped. And long may that continue, by Christ, long may that continue. I don't like spending money unless I have to. I'm talking just to make face change now anyway. Yeah, I'll put a link to the channels I mentioned, and I will, what else will I do? Oh yeah, I'll put a link to the house if you want to see where we're living, because obviously that's a big part of the rent, a big part of our monthly expenditure. And I've gone on far too long. I like hearing my voice. Hopefully you liked the video. If you did, smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Make me very happy. Whether you do, whether you don't, whatever you're doing, wherever you are, stay safe, be lucky. Say goodbye.
Bye. Be lucky.